Hey guys, I'm Unblessed Data, and welcome to another review. This time we have Arrow Season 1, Episode 18. That's right, 18 episodes in. It's been a long way from the start. That's right, baby. But this episode is titled Salvation. Pretty cool episode in my opinion. I thought it was really well balanced out throughout the whole episode with action, just dialogue. It was pretty good. The story itself moved along quite a bit here, and we got a couple key hints on what's to come in the future. So let's get right into this review, but before I get into it, just want to let you guys know, this review does contain spoilers. If you do not want to know what happened, go watch the episode and come back. So let's get right onto it. Right off the bat, we see Oliver, and he basically wants to cross off another name from his little book there, his hit list, and so he wants to basically kill someone. And so Arrow goes to this guy's apartment that he has on his list that he wants to eliminate, and he's already gone. He's been kidnapped by another man. We don't know if it's a man or a woman, and it was almost like a horror movie scene. He had a knife, like the guy that he was gonna kill, and someone he just fell on the floor trying to reach for his knife, and he got pulled away screaming. That is horror movie to me. And a lot of shows right now have been really bringing in horror movie elements, just stuff like that. I just find, I don't know, even The Walking Dead did it recently. Even though I guess The Walking Dead is a horror show, it had this element in the, I don't know if it was last episode, the episode before that, where it felt like it was straight from a horror movie. But so Arrow was kind of doing that too. So he was already gone, he was already kidnapped, and basically Oliver said to him, was talking, and he basically said, I don't like when there's someone else out there doing what I'm doing, because, he doesn't have a restraint. He's going to do whatever he wants. He's not going to, have the morals that he's going to have. He might be completely evil, just kill for fun. You don't know. Flashback. First flashback of the episode. Love the flashbacks. Can't get enough of them. But we're back off right where we left off from the previous flashback, and Oliver has a circuit board for this missile launcher that they have, and basically they want to make a bargain. So he says, I have the circuit board, and I have a way to get you off the island. Let's make a deal. So I can get a boat. So yeah, that could be a possible way for Oliver and Slade to get off the island with a boat. But we obviously know that this isn't going to happen, because Oliver was on the island for 5 years. So it's going to have to go sour somehow, and it does. But forget that, we go back to the present, and we actually see Roy and Thea, and they're actually making out on a couch at Roy's house. So we can see that, they're kind of developing too, their characters. Thea's serving more of a purpose now. Before, in my previous reviews, if you've seen them before, I hate Thea. I really do. I think she's nothing but filler for every Arrow episode. But now she's actually really serving a purpose. She has a place in the show, and that's kind of with Roy. And Roy's going to be Red Arrow. We already know this. Everything's pointing to this. Even his name, Roy Harper, he's Red Arrow. So she's actually kind of developing that story further. So Thea is in Roy's house, and a guy knocks on the door. And basically he says to Roy, don't be late, be there at 11, don't be late. And he gives him something, and Thea kind of takes it from Roy, and it's actually a gun. So he was actually going to rob a liquor store, and he said, the guy deserves it, don't worry, I need the money. And he says, and then Thea brings up a good point, I gave you a job, why don't you use the job, make money in an honest way? He says, you know what, it's not about, paying bills or anything, I owe people a lot of money. So we can see he's been dealing with the wrong people here, and I'm sure that's going to set up some future episodes too, because if he joins Arrow and becomes Red Arrow, then maybe they're going to have to fight his and previous enemies that he already has. That will set up pretty nicely right there. And then Laurel and Mom's dad are kind of getting together better now. In the previous episode, we can see that they're kind of still searching for Sarah, their daughter that was killed on the yacht cruise crash that Oliver was also on. And they're looking for him, and they're really happy almost. And they feel like they have a purpose to do together. And yeah, it seems like they're split up. I'm pretty sure they're split up, but they look happy together. And I think it's giving them hope. And just to see Laurel's dad have hope, it's kind of weird, because last episode he was all angry and, don't bring me back into this. But in this episode he has hope. It's kind of weird. Didn't seem right to me, but whatever. Then all of a sudden a video is sent to every phone, every mobile thing, it's all over the internet, everywhere. And it's actually this guy. And he has, in the beginning, the guy that Arrow was trying to track down, he has him tied up. And yeah, the people have let us down, but I won't. That's basically what he's saying. And right away, Oliver says, track him, Felicity. Felicity's the IT girl that Arrow has basically on his team now. And so, track him right away. And he says, and then this guy says, I find you guilty, and he shoots him. So he's kind of like a judge, like kind of like the people's judge, like doing things that he thinks are wrong, that the police aren't taking care of, because there's a corrupt government, corrupt police there. So he's basically taking the law into his own hands. That's basically what's going on there, and so he's killing people actually though. And then he says also this, that there are plenty more people that have to pay. So we can see that he's gonna strike again, and we find out that he calls himself the Savior. So that's kind of where this episode's title gets its title from, Salvation Savior. Yeah. So so then he strikes again, and he actually brings up the point that his wife was killed because of criminals and the corruptness of the city. So that's kind of his way to get back at him. So this villain's pretty cool. You know what? I'm sure he's a comic book character, because this is what Arrow's been doing. I'm big into comics, so I know a lot about comics. But really, Arrow's bringing in comic book characters, but not really. They're just basically using their name and actually not really living up to who they actually are. An example is a couple episodes ago, Firefly was in it, but he was a fireman that was disfigured, and Firefly is not a fireman that's disfigured in the comics. Completely different. So that's kind of what I'm saying. This could be a comic book villain. I don't really know. So there are other. So then he calls himself Savior. Blah blah blah. Then Laurel finds out her sister is in the States. Now we don't actually know if it's her sister, but the girl in the picture that Laurel's mom brought, she actually located her. Then Felicity finds out where the Savior is, so she basically tracked him down. And of course, Oliver jumps on it right away, and he goes and runs to this place where the Savior is, where he has another hostage that he's gonna kill. And Oliver's checked the building where Felicity sent him, that she said the Savior was there. He checked every room as like an apartment. Nothing. He's not there. Then all of a sudden, Felicity says, wait, he's moved again. So then Oliver goes, jumping from rooftop to rooftop. Rick looked really cool, kind of like Assassin's Creed-y. It was really cool. The shots were really cinematic. And I realized that the last couple episodes have been kind of cinematic-y, and I like it. It's really cool. Oliver was jumping from rooftop to rooftop. And just to make a point, he was not in like the Arrow costume, it was just Oliver. So he's kind of risking his identity there too. So he's jumping from rooftop to rooftop, and then he arrives at the spot that Felicity sent him, and it's just a vacant lot. So again, she was kind of wrong. Oliver couldn't save the guy, and the Savior kills the guy again. So that's the second time he striked. Another flashback, and we see Oliver and Slade and the evil corporation meet up, and okay, you know what? Give me the circuit board, or I kill Yao Fei's daughter. Yao Fei's the man at the beginning that helped Oliver when he first crashed on the island, or when he swam to the island. And basically, he kind of double-crossed him and said, you know what, I'm not giving you a way out. I'm just going to say I'm going to kill her, or you're going to give me the circuit board. So, they kind of just run away. Like, all of a sudden, basically, it's kind of complicated. Well, we'll get to it in a minute. We go back to the present, and Laurel found the girl in the picture that they think is Sarah, and it turns out it's actually not her sister. So they're kind of bummed out about that, and it's kind of sad, but what can you do? Is Sarah actually alive? I don't think she is, and I think they're just running off this. Maybe in next season, maybe they'll bring her back for some reason. I just don't see it happening this soon. Maybe it could, but I just don't think she's alive. But if they really want to drag that out for a kind of a little storyline, I guess they could, but I just don't see them doing it. But don't quote me, because they probably will do it, just because I said they won't. Yeah, that's it for that, and Thea goes to Roy's house again, and then all of a sudden, someone runs up to Roy, knocks Thea on the floor, basically knocks her out, and injects something into Roy. And it's actually the Savior, so the Savior took Roy, has him tied up, and he's gonna kill him. So then Malcolm calls, then we go to like Oliver's mom. So Malcolm calls Oliver's mom, and he says, by tonight I'm going to have the names of the people who tried to kill me. That kind of scares Oliver's mom, because obviously she's the one that put the hit on him. But let's remember, she had put the hit on him with the help of another associate. It was he was an Oriental man. I don't actually remember his name, but he helped Oliver's mom put the hit on him. So there's kind of two people at fault here, but Oliver's mom is really scared because he's basically gonna find out it's her. Then we go back to Laurel's mom, and she's still looking for her daughter, doesn't want to give up, and we kind of find out why she doesn't. Basically, Laurel's dad says, you gotta let this go. She's dead. Just put it behind you now. And then, basically, Laurel's mom reveals that she knew Sarah was gonna go on the cruise and kind of let her go, and she really wasn't supposed to. Laurel's dad kind of said, no, you're not going, and she kind of just said, go ahead. So she feels like she killed her own daughter. Again, which is pretty sad, but I wish they kind of just flopped on this, okay, whatever, and just kind of moved on. It's been going on for a couple episodes now, kind of tired of it, but whatever. Then we actually find out that the Savior, the reason why he keeps on appearing on different spots while Felicity is tracking him is he's actually in an abandoned subway line and he's going around. So we actually can't really pinpoint where he is. Then we go back to the flashback, and basically Oliver's, let the girl go, and then all of a sudden Yao Fei and his daughter attack all the, the evil corporation there, and they kind of get away from them, and they all run off with Oliver and Slade. So it's Oliver, Slade, Yao Fei, and his daughter. Then all of a sudden Yao Fei's shot, which kind of really sucks because I really like Yao Fei, and he just said, leave me, I'll slow you down, just go. And yeah, so that was really cool too, and I really hope Yao Fei doesn't die. We'll see where that goes. I'm sure that they can still use Yao Fei for leverage against Oliver and Yao Fei's daughter, so we'll see where that goes. But yeah, it would be really sad if he died, so please don't die. Then we go back to the present day, and the Savior's asking Roy why he should live. Why do you get to live? And Roy responds very, surprisingly, where I don't deserve to live, just kill me. No one would miss me. That's what he's saying. Then Arrow gets on the train. You can hear him jump on the train, and then all of a sudden he breaks through one of the windows, and he really just talks to the Savior basically, and he says, we're the only ones, and this is what the Savior's saying. He's saying we're the only ones that can save the city, and he turns to kill Roy, and Arrow shoots the Savior and kills him. That's the end of the Savior. But I think the Savior really thought that he was doing the right thing, and he was kind of just like a wannabe Arrow basically. He probably seen Arrow doing this, said, you know what, I can do this too, and I should, and that's kind of where this led to. So I feel bad for the Savior because he had the right intentions in mind, but killing is never the answer, folks. So that's kind of where that led to. So then Arrow shoots him and kills him. And again, it was really cinematic when he got shot too. It was like, "Bah!" And he got shot, so it was really cool. Then Laurel's mom leaves Laurel and his dad, and this was really kind of cool too. Roy goes back to Thea, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're alive!" And they're at Oliver's club, and then Roy kind of feels something in his pocket, and it's an arrow. So again, it's hinting to that he's Red Arrow. We'll see more. I'm sure in the next couple episodes, as the season kind of winds down, maybe they'll bring him out at the end of the season. We don't really know, but it'll be cool if they do that. Last flashback, the circuit board's gone. The corporation actually stole it from them, but Yao Fei's daughter actually speaks English, and she knows their plans, but she doesn't reveal it, obviously, in this episode. Gotta leave it a cliffhanger, right? So that's kind of where the last flashback led to. Then Tommy's dad kills Oliver's mom's friend that helped her put the hit on him, and he thinks that it was just him and not Oliver's mom. So Oliver's mom is actually safe right now and is not blamed for the attempted assassination of Malcolm. So that kind of worked out for her, and she started crying. Honestly, it was really bad. It wasn't that good acting. I'm just gonna say that. But usually acting in Arrow is actually pretty good. I actually really like it, especially the fight scenes. Really, really, really nice. So that was the only really complaint that I had with the acting there, but whatever. I think Oliver's mom, the actor that plays her, has been pretty solid so far. So I'm just gonna let it slip and pretend it never happened. Let's just do that, okay? So yeah, and then we find out as the last cliffhanger here is the symbol in the book that Oliver's mom had, this mystery symbol, basically that's been linked to all these bad people, is actually a bird's eye view of the streets and subway system, the roads, kind of like you're looking at a map. So the big plan is connected to the Glades. So the area where Roy is, the Glades, has something to do with that because it's a picture of basically a bird's eye view of the Glades. So yeah, so something big is going to happen there. And from another previous episode, we found out that Malcolm basically said that a lot of people are going to die. So obviously Glades and a lot of people are going to die. We'll see where that leads. But I just want to say thank you for watching. It means a lot to me. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. I just want to say thank you again. Peace out.